Guys, don't hate me in the comments, all right? I have been dreading this moment for a very, very long time. Without further ado, my name is Brady. Welcome back. Bad time to join this video because we're looking at my old footage and I'm gonna critique it. Just some of the clips here, some things that stuck out to me, whether it's comments that you guys have left in the years past or other work that I've put out. Just things that I would do differently. And I think that, YouTube, my YouTube in particular, has been just like a learning experience for me in general, but work is just a learning experience for us. So it's important, there is some importance to going back and saying, hey, I did this, that was fucking stupid. This is what I would do now. So it's progress or whatever. So so I want to dive in. I will let you know there is a sponsor, Artlist, of this video. We're going to get to a little bit later on. So thank you for being a part of this video, but in no particular order. Let's pull the curtain back. The first one that I want to talk about is this old horror film that I did. The movement is cool. I like the whole mirror setup that I did. I like how we kind of come across revealing the house and revealing mirrors and adding this whole spook factor to it. Bring that level up. It doesn't need to be so vibrant and green. So there's that. But the other thing, the main thing that stuck out to me on this video was our combating moons. So you can see we come in the left side of the house and we've got the moonlight come through the shears. But then we make our way to the right side of the house and we have moonlight coming through the shears. And I saw a few of the comments at the time that I kind of avoided about this double moon. And that's something that you want to be mindful of. So determine, do I want moonlight only in the house? Instead of having a hard moon on one side of the house and a hard moon on the other side of the house, I'm gonna pick one and make it soft ambience, just level coming in the house. It's just moon is reflecting off of the outside ambience in the sky and coming in softly. So pick one side of the house where you're gonna have your hard specular moon shadows, and then the other side where you're gonna have soft light coming in. That's a couple of things on this one that stuck out to me. It's just like, I think that I put lights places and didn't really think it through. I was just like, hey, that looks good, keep going on. But the conflicting moon was one thing that I don't want to say regret, but could have done better 4 years later. Moving on, we just did some night stuff. Let's bounce into this daylight. This is a breakdown that I did with you guys in this coffee shop. So I love this shot. It looks like we get the wide and then I moved in for a tight. Don't get me wrong, this shot still looks fantastic, but there's a few things that I really cornered myself at this point in my career with, and we'll start with our key light. And again, I saw some comments and I agreed with it. I was so stuck in my ways. I've got this beautiful shot kind of shooting into the corner of the building, but we see the windows behind her and we see a dark wall on frame right. The light is coming from the window. Why am I putting it from over there? And that's because I was like, I had blinders on, I need to do it this way. So how would I do this particular setup differently? There's two different things. I could either flip the world so I could put camera on the other side, then making it make sense to have windows. But say I gotta keep the same exact framing, break the freaking rules, man. This is a case where instead of just having this far side key off of the wall, you don't need to light up stage. There's other ways you could do it. So I probably now would push in a lot more light from that window and then instead just have some return fill. I don't need to shape that fill. I just need to bring up the level on her face, because if I move that key light should become dark. So that was one part, but there's a part two where I put in this sun slash on the table. So I had this random sun slash come out of nowhere, which is, I see what I was doing here. But what I would do is I would pull it back, because it's just like this magical little sun pool that's on her. I would probably bring it back so it's actually hitting the chairs and the surrounding environment and around her, to make it feel more organic. I think I was at a point at this time in my career where I put lights as close to the frame as I could get, thinking it would leave the most impact, but due to inverse square law and all of that, it changes the quality and the shape of it. But these are two things that I would do. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is still a beautiful shot. And you know, we're always growing and improving, and that's a couple things that I would probably do differently, 2 years later. This was 2 years ago I shot this. So I got two more. I want to take a second to talk about our sponsor, our friends over at Artlist. Let's do that. So we know Artlist, the home of the music, sound effects, templates, plugins, LUTs. I know, it's crazy how much they have. But I've learned some new things about Artlist that I want to share with you that I think are going to help you. Artlist has a Premiere Pro plugin to where they can directly communicate, and you now no longer have to do that whole download a song because you think you like it, play it on Artlist, and then play it in your timeline and then hope it syncs up just to feel the vibes. So now it's just easy as just toggling it on and just seeing exactly what that looks like in the timeline. And then once you download it, you can download it exactly into your Premiere Pro project. It's not just that with the music. I've also learned some things recently of like stems. Now Artlist has stems as well. So say you like the song and everything that's going on, but the drums are just too loud and they're clashing with your voice. You can just take these particular stems and stack them into your timeline. Say you just want drums and guitar, or you just want vocals and guitar. You can do that with Artlist stems. So there are some new facts about Artlist that I, as of recent, actually did not know. And on top of that, as you know, they've got sound effects, they've got plugins, all the templates, an abundance of stuff that you're well aware of at this point. So I'm gonna leave a link down below for you guys to go check that out. But especially if you use Premiere, that's a really sweet plugin to utilize to just ease your editing process. So with that, let's get back to the video.
Hi, it's me, Brady. Welcome back. We're here fireside in the woods here, and we just finished lighting this scene, which I want to talk about.
This one is not as bad. It was only like a year and a half ago. A main thing that I want to talk about, and this was like this whole moonlight exterior scene that I did. You know, moonlight is one of the most difficult things to achieve when shooting outside. You can never really get it right. Everybody says it's soft, everybody says it's hard, or it's cool, or it's not. So there's not one right way to do it. I would say there's not a thing wrong with this moonlight scene, but I do agree that there needs to be kind of a mesh of both quality wise. So what I did in this, I just pretty much threw a 1200D or a big source way out in the woods and let it play throughout the woods and left it very hard, which it did the job of filling the space. And then I used like the fire and a couple other lights just to fill in the rest of the darkness. I would do it differently now. I really would. So looking at this now, I would say that I would keep a hard light in this scene, but I would probably push it back to be more backlighty and hit the edges of trees and just throw that thing way far out. And maybe I'd shoot it from the ground up at the trees because I don't have a crane to really get it above the trees. So one thing I like to do is just shoot from the ground up. So it's not just flooding the ground, it's more so just hitting the trees. Something that I've learned in the time since is to make sure to have some soft ambience that is still in the world, and that's what I would do here. So how would I do this, or how have I done this and seen it done? One way that I could do this is just take like an 8x8, like a bounce 8x8 frame, or 12x12 if you can, or even 20x20, and just boost it up on stands, 10 feet or so. It's not as high as you could get it. And then just shoot a hot source off of that. So you're just bouncing light off of that big guy that's in the sky, and then just filling in that softness and filling in those darks. Those are some things that I would do with this. And then I'd probably just keep the campfire doing its thing. But it's really just coming down to getting this accurate moonlight. Because looking at this, it definitely looks a little sourcey and hard from the left. Okay, let me get some water. All right, our last one here. This is like my 4th video. When did I post this? Let me see. 4 years ago, it says August 31st, 2020. This might have been my 3rd video I put on YouTube. And let me tell you, these early years of YouTube, I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. I still kind of don't, but it's this whole outdoor lighting thing. And I really thought that I had it dialed in.
I took this DIY scrim, put it on 2 different stands, and I boosted those up, and immediately it looks so much better.
It's just not, it's not the vibe. And I saw a lot of comments on this of like, the original looked better and it looks way too soft, or it looks like a green screen. And you know what? I'm totally with you. I look at this and I'm like, what the hell was I doing? Now I'm like, I want to embrace the sun. If I'm shooting in that direction, I'm just gonna embrace the sun, whether I'm softening it with a much thinner material. I could do something like that, like a frost, that'll just cut away like the sharpness of the sun and just ease up a little bit of the contrast, but keep all of the qualities. So that's the first part. And then the second part, I don't know what the hell I was doing with that reflector. It's bright as shit. It's undery. I don't like it at all. I think I definitely overdid this, and it looked good for a soft green screen look. If you're going for that, maybe a newscast, something like that, but that's pretty much about it. But then I flipped the world in this video and I shot with the sun behind. And this is the one I want to end on, because I think that I learned a lot from this video, in a sense of like, I realized what I didn't like from this. So what I said, I said, take that sun when it's backlit, use the sun as your edge light, and then key from the other side. And my friends, that is very much so sun sandwichy. And what I mean by that is you're taking the light on this side and you're taking the key light on this side and just like squishing it in here. And it just doesn't look that great. So something that I do now, I'm gonna utilize that sun. Again, backlight when you can. I still hold true to that. But say I'm backlighting, I'm gonna take that sun, that hard sun from right here, and I'm just gonna keep that hard quality, but then bring in more soft. So I'm just gonna augment and wrap around further instead of making this weird sandwich of like edge light, key light. I'm just gonna take that edge light and then probably bounce a little bit of light in here so it's hitting that and just squeezing a little bit more level around my talent's face. But dude, day exteriors are hard. It's like, it's just shaping the sun and it gets a lot more finicky. But those are some things that I learned out of this 4-year-old video that was the 3rd on my channel. Listen, at this point in particular, I was faking a lot of stuff. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I was doing what I thought worked and just winging it. And I mean, it did work, but it also taught me a lot of doing stuff every single week. And I was like, oh, I actually don't know what I'm doing, but I'm learning along the way. And I think to me, that's the most important. So a little bit of reflection time from a few of the scenes in the past. I'm thinking about doing this videos like this again in the future, or even critiquing some of your footage as well. So leave a comment down below if that would appeal to you. But that's a wrap on this one, guys. Thanks for sitting through this cringy time capsule of Brady's work. And I hope that you learned one thing out of it. And that's all. So love you all and good night.